Well, I know they could have faked that, but you're like, no, I recorded it myself. I know that it's real. Well, you can't prove that that's the original footage.
Free Talk Live.
Have you guys heard of these deep fakes?
Yes.
Have you seen a deep fake?
Hard to say, right? I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah.
I think there was one earlier today. I didn't find it show prep worthy, but it was Jennifer Lawrence and Steve Buscemi's face.
I have it right here.
Okay, somebody needs to look up on Urban Dictionary for me what a deep fake is, because I'm not familiar with this.
I'm going to try to explain it to you here. So we talked about this, I don't know, most of a year ago. It's come up before on Free Talk Live. Basically what they've done, Rich, is the geeks on the internet have made video swapping possible, meaning taking a video of you and like scanning you in somehow into whatever system it is that they're using to do this, and then superimposing your face over top of somebody else in another video. Now, this is stuff that has been possible for a number of years, but you had to have access to some pretty fancy equipment, like, Hollywood level kind of movie effects. Now, just any geek with a, decent computer can run one of these deepfakes programs or whatever and do their own image swapping and video swapping right at home.
They could also do voice swapping now too.
Yeah,
which is even.
So, and then what it's done is and it was originally created for porn. So it was created to put your favorite star who you can't find in any kind of nude photo into an actual porn clip with, somebody who may have a body type that matches that person. So that's where this came from. But now it's being used for more than that. And so there's actually a clip on this.
And people wonder why men earn more money than women. It's all the sex drive.
There's more coming up here. We'll tell you more about what these deep fakes are. And we'll link to one of them on our social media so you can check out and see for yourself how persuasive they look. Now, this is one of those things where radio is just not going to do it justice. We were trying to explain to Rich Paul who Steve Buscemi is. Now, even though you're looking at his face there, you didn't recognize him. So I'm going to see if I can pull up his, what he would.
I'm guessing
normally.
He doesn't usually wear a body like that.
Well, normally he's pretty skinny. So the body type is probably pretty right on. He's
Does he have boobs?
No, he doesn't.
She had a couple of them, I thought.
Yeah. So I don't know. So if you don't recognize him, I mean, he has been in a number of Hollywood films over the years.
Oh yeah, he was in The Usual Suspects, wasn't he?
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was in that. You're thinking of Kevin Spacey or something like that. He was in I remember him from Escape from Los Angeles, which most people probably haven't seen. It was the sequel to Escape from New York.
I've seen it. I wouldn't recognize him from that one.
I loved Escape from New York.
He was Maps to the Stars Eddie in Escape from Los Angeles. But yeah, he's been in a bunch of movies. So anyway, Steve Buscemi superimposed over top of Jennifer Lawrence. I mean,
expected Amy to win.
It still sounds like Jennifer Lawrence.
I just like... It was just this was very.
But when you look at this video, it's Steve Buscemi's face.
It's basically his face mapped on hers. So his mouth is moving in cadence with hers.
And
his eyes are blinking in cadence with hers.
Yeah, and his eyes aren't just blinking. They're like, they move and it looks around and it looks very realistic. Now, it would be interesting to do a side-by-side comparison to see the original clip of Jennifer Lawrence.
I'd like to know if those are really her arms, because as I look at it again, I'm not seeing boobs. I'm seeing a dress, but no boobs, and the arms do look kind of masculine. So if this was developed for porn, they can do the whole body.
Yeah, they could. You're right about that. So we're talking about deepfakes. I want to get into what that is. We'll tell you more about it, and they've gotten even better in just the last 12 months. So, I mean, we know that there's really great technology out there for doing fake video work.
Sure.
But it used to be that you had to really know what you were doing. You had to be a pro. You had to have some really amazing equipment, fancy stuff, expensive editing decks or whatever.
Even that, Hollywood has a term called the uncanny valley.
What's that?
It's basically the human brain can interpret an animated face made to look like a human face versus an actual human actor. which is why certain CG movies don't look right when you see the CG.
Because there's something wrong about it.
There's something just a little bit off about it. And they refer to that as the uncanny valley. And it seems like with the deep fakes, that may be bridged.
Yeah, they're filling in the valley somewhat. I wouldn't say it's perfect. There's maybe some telltale signs in this video, but the quality was HD. We were watching this during the break, and I did a full screen on this. This is an HD quality. It's not like somebody did a real low-res fake here, and they're cutting corners. This is a nice-looking piece of footage that is clearly Steve Buscemi's face superimposed, but not superimposed. Superimposed isn't really the right word. That sounds, when I say superimposed, it sounds like it's just slapped on there.
Mapped to.
Mapping, I think, would be definitely the right word here. The story is from the Daily Dot, and it says, while the nation grapples with concerns over the spread of inaccurate and deceptive information online, fake news, deep fakes, these are videos in which an individual's face is superimposed onto another, continue to advance at a quickening pace. Now, the new ones are downright terrifying. The technology, which relies on machine learning and artificial intelligence, was once largely relegated to researchers at prestigious universities. But over the past few years, a growing online community has democratized the practice, bringing powerful and easy-to-use tools to the masses. One of the public's first introductions to deepfakes came in late 2017. A Reddit group devoted to placing the faces of prominent female actresses onto those of porn stars gained attention. And it was probably around the shortly thereafter that we covered it here on Free Talk Live. Because I remember we had our Discord server at the time because Gene the Christian Anarchist was going crazy over this. He loves these deepfakes.
The originals, Gene?
Yeah. As reported by Motherboard's Samantha Cole, members of the now banned subreddit explained how they would first gather stock photos and videos of celebrities such as Hollywood star Scarlett Johansson. The media content would then be fed into specialized open source tools and combined with graphic adult content. The quality of deepfakes are based on several factors, but rely heavily on practice, time, and the source material that they're derived from, because the rule's always going to be garbage in, garbage out. If you've got a crappy quality, photograph or video clip, then you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with that. If, on the other hand, you have HD quality video of your favorite star from more than one angle, preferably, I imagine, then you're going to have something to work with.
Does this destroy the market for celebrity sex videos?
Yeah, I would say it does.
I don't think so, because it creates a level of plausible deniability.
True.
But still, people are always going to want the original.
That's true.
People are always going to want to see things that actually happen.
But how will you know?
Well,
that's the thing, is it creates a plausible deniability. But the easiest way to know, my guess, is that mapping that they do has to leave artifacts that can be detected by another computer, even if they get to the point where they're too good for the human eye.
For the eye? You could be right.
Just as a programmer, it seems to me impossible that you would not have some level of error, some pixels that are the wrong color because they're the merge of two things that can be detected over time. I don't know how
you might be right,
but I'm sure it can be done.
Because that's exactly what you do before popping on a porn, is to run
the check on it, make sure it's real.
If a sex tape comes out, somebody's probably going to look at it, I would suspect.
For science, of course.
The quality, again, are based on several factors. Initially, deepfakes were more shocking than convincing, but readily available programs and tutorials continue to lower the bar for new creators. One such video, posted by Reddit user Villain Guy earlier this month, has highlighted how far the technology has come. That video, which combines actor Steve Buscemi with actress Jennifer Lawrence at the 2016 Golden Globe Awards, is turning heads. Not because anyone believes it's real, but because of the video's implications. And that's really what's worth talking about here. Using a free tool known as FaceSwap, Villain Guy proceeded to train the artificial intelligence with high-quality media content of actor Steve Buscemi. With the aid of the high-end graphics card and processor, Jennifer Lawrence Buscemi, with a hyphen, was born. Villain Guy says the level of detail was achieved thanks to hours of coding and programming as well. The video's viral spread online last week comes as numerous U.S. lawmakers sound the alarm over the potential of deepfakes to disrupt the 2020 election.
Oh, there you go.
A report from CNN indicates the Department of Defense had begun commissioning researchers to find ways to detect when a video has been altered. So they're already looking into what you were talking about, Rich. They want to figure this out.
Well, there's another question, which is what happens to video used as evidence in court?
This is a huge question.
This is a huge question. There's a good reason that you can't bring a painting of an event in and use it as evidence in court.
Right.
It's because somebody created that. Even if you're sitting there watching it.
Yep.
It's not what really happened.
Right. And so now that we know that the average computer nerd with a graphics card can do convincing fake videos like this in the year 2019, it's just going to get easier. It's going to get more affordable.
The thing we have to do is make sure that the common people know how easy it has become and how powerful. And I guarantee you, the CIA was able to do this 10 years ago.
More coming up. Join us here, Free Talk Live. The live Sunday edition of the program, as people are still trying to figure out the difference between fake news and real news. Now you've got a real problem on your hands because fake video, they're calling them deep fakes, and we covered this story about this probably about a year ago here on Free Talk Live. Well, guess what? Technology just keeps getting better. The computing processing power that you need to do this stuff keeps getting more efficient, keeps getting cheaper. The software keeps getting better. They keep upgrading, and it's open source, so anybody can get in there and work on these deepfakes programs, and they are making some very persuasive-looking videos these days. One of them, they combined Steve Buscemi, the actor, with a different actor, or rather actress, Jennifer Lawrence, and put his face over hers, like melded his face, mapped, I think was the word you used.
I said mapped.
Richie Rich, mapped his face onto hers, and it is convincing.
Yes.
It's amazing work, and it took the guy who did it, he calls himself Villain Guy, a fair amount of time. He said he achieved the level of detail that he did with hours of coding and programming, but still, it's only hours to create a minute-long fake video that, had it been used for some sort of nefarious purposes.
Imagine how many hours the Russians have.
Exactly. Or, as you pointed out, Rich, the NSA or the CIA or the FBI, they certainly have the access to the resources that they need as far as computing power is concerned. They can, if they don't have the computer geeks on staff already, they can hire them to do this kind of stuff. And, you were involved in an undercover sting operation, Rich, as a victim of that.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Let's slow that down. I wasn't involved in the operation.
Right.
I was a target of the operation.
Yes, you were a victim, targeted by and victimized by that operation. What if the video footage that they had of you never actually happened in the first place? What if they had completely manufactured that footage of you in a hotel room with some guy who wanted to buy some weed?
It could have easily been done.
Right. And that was several years ago when that went down. It was 2012 or something like that. Now, this is literally a program you can download. You can do this if you've got the chops. You can do it from your home computer. You can fake video. And if we're talking about faking video of like a security camera, that's going to be way easier than this, because this is like a full close-up shot of somebody speaking into a camera that's been faked here. If you're talking about some grainy security video that shows Rich Paul breaking into the Walmart in the middle of the night or whatever, breaking into the Watergate building or wherever it is they want to put you, they can put you there now.
Right. Very easily.
Well, the other thing is, do they really need this tool? With all the false allegations and suppression of evidence that they already have, is this just another tool to convict people of crimes that they didn't commit?
Yeah, it could very well be that.
And do they need it? Because they're already pretty proficient at
no
that activity.
tool will ever be as effective in getting convictions against innocent people as plea bargaining.
Yeah.
Plea bargaining,
Which is what,
like
97%?
Yeah, 97%. So they've got 97% of people can be falsely convicted just by not being convinced not to put up a fight, because if they exercise their rights, their right to due process under either the 6th or the 8th Amendment, I can't remember which, then they will be further punished for exercising their right to question the facts.
So these deep fakes, it's important to get this information out to people. It's important to see for yourself, because, again, we can't play the video for you on the radio. I will put the link to this story, which has the video of Steve Buscemi melded into Jennifer Lawrence, for you to see yourself. We'll put it out on our Twitter, our Mastodon, and Telegram. So if you want to follow Free Talk Live, twitter.freetalklive.com, toot.freetalklive.com gets you to our Mastodon page, which is like a decentralized version of Twitter. And then there's also telegram.freetalklive.com. I'm going to put it out there as soon as we're done talking about it here. But the important thing is that people know how accessible this level of technology is, because basically we're entering a time in our lives where unless you're in front of somebody, you're really not going to know if what you're experiencing through video or audio or whatever is the real McCoy. Audio has been easy to fake for a long time, but now they've got to the point where I remember reading about the voice, the guy who does the voice for Optimus Prime, the Transformer. Peter Cullen is his name, and he's got like this, this epic voice that many millions of fans have loved him as that character over the years. He's getting old, and so they had him read a series of words that, in those words, every inflection, everything that you could say as an English speaker is contained within those words. And so they ingest those words that he read into a computer system, and then they can just type out whatever it is that they want Optimus Prime to say. And they will have Peter Cullen's voice for that character long beyond when he's dead. So we've had the audio technology there for a while. Now the video's there to where, to the human eye, it's hard to tell already that this is a fake. I mean, it's a fake because it's Steve Buscemi's face on Jennifer Lawrence's body.
When the real deep fakes come out, what does that do to public opinion? Yeah. And what the average person sees on the news or on the internet. You won't be able to
believe it. You won't know what you're seeing actually happened. You will have no base of knowledge or facts to really make a determination as to whether that's real. Mm-hmm. And so they're concerned because of the election, and I think the potential for hilarity with this is also very, very high. I mean, if you've got Donald Trump, anybody who's in front of a camera, as much as a president of the United States, has been photographed from every angle you can conceivably think of. So,
and even better, videoed, because that tells you how he moves.
Exactly. Yep. So there are going to be deepfake Donald Trumps hitting the internet. If they're not already out there now, they're coming, and they're going to come in waves, and it's going to be hilarious.
See, there's part of me that's tempted to do Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton over a really nasty, awful scat porn. But I don't know if there's enough eye bleach in the world to I don't know how I could do it without seeing it.
Right.
So I will never.
You could hire somebody from Fiverr.
That's it. Disposable people or people with absolutely no taste.
Right.
It would only take a couple of hours.
Let's go to the phones here. Gene, the Christian anarchist, is on the line and on our Discord server. Go ahead, Gene.
Hey guys, I've been a long-time fan of the deep fakes. Called you about it before. You pretty much covered everything I was about to say in the last segment, but
sorry,
I did want to. That's exactly what I was thinking, was plausible deniability, because that anybody with a decent gaming computer and some time can make up one of these deep fakes, and they're real. They're very believable. Now, that's just with a gaming computer and some time. Just think of what NSA has They've always had technology that goes beyond what the current level of technology is. I guarantee you that they have the ability to 3D model everybody, including their naked body, if they have that information, and tattoos and everything else. And then they'll be able to, just like in a video game, model that character in 3D in any situation, in any video. So you can show just me, for instance, shooting Kennedy or something. It would be a simple thing to do. So now, don't get the wrong idea. I wasn't in Texas when that happened.
It makes having multiple cameras really important, because if there are independent video streams, then even though you could map each video stream the same way, your chances of making two different video streams into deep fakes that you cannot cross-reference and find discrepancies in, I think would be almost impossible.
It would make it harder.
I think it would have to be the same person doing it.
According to the story here at the Daily Dot, dailydot.com, last year, Representative Adam Schiff from California and other members of the House of Representatives wrote a letter to the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, to raise concerns over the possible use of the technology by foreign adversaries. The letter stated,
I'm so much more scared of domestic adversaries,
Me too.
like the government itself.
Yeah. The quote, as deepfake technology becomes more advanced and more accessible, it could pose a threat to United States public discourse and national security, with broad and concerning implications for offensive active measures, campaigns targeting the United States, said the letter. Researchers have already developed some methods for detecting the deepfakes. One technique, which is said to have a 95% success rate in catching altered videos, relies on analyzing how often an individual in a video blinks.
Oh, see? We talked about the eyes.
Quote, healthy adult humans blink somewhere between every 2 and 10 seconds, and a single blink takes between 1/10 and 4/10 of a second, says the Associate Professor of Computer Science at the University of Albany, Sui Liu, wrote in a Fast Company article last year, quote, that's what would be normal to see in a video of a person talking, but it's not what happens in many deepfake videos, unquote. However, these deepfakes will only become harder to catch as time goes on. Liu notes that the race between those generating and those detecting fake videos will only intensify in the coming years. While lawmakers have focused heavily on the potential national security ramifications, some experts remain skeptical. Thomas Ridd, professor of strategic studies at Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies, remarked on Twitter this month that fake news and conspiracy theories already thrive based on far less than altered videos. Ridd, who's an expert on the history of disinformation, argues, however, that deepfakes could lead some to deny legitimate information based entirely on the fact that such technology exists. Indeed, like I said, we're entering a time where you're not really going to know that when you're watching something, because we've seen major news media organizations get fooled by fake stuff, fake news. Yeah, we've seen onion stories get picked up and run as actual news headlines in major media all around the planet.
Well, a lot of that is because it's getting very difficult to distinguish the real from the satirical at this point.
Yeah, that's something people are always failing to pick up sarcasm on Facebook, and I have the same issue. And it's like, well, it's hard to detect sarcasm since the world went crazy. Because sarcasm you can usually recognize by somebody saying something so stupid that nobody could possibly believe it. But then you have actual Marxists out there
and Donald Trump.
Really believe what they say.
Right.
And you have actual fascists out there who really believe what they say. So what is really too absurd to think that some idiot really believes this?
So you've got a problem with reality being hard to believe. Just on its own. Right. And now you add to that the fact that any video that purports to be real may be completely fabricated. So what is real these days? I mean, it's impossible to know.
My buddy has a game on Facebook. Is this a real Donald Trump tweet?
Right, but that's just the text.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell.
And it's hard to tell there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then you increase that when it comes to video. Is this a real video? Is he really saying that? Because he says some pretty outlandish things. And if there's a deepfake video of it, how would you know?
Well, if you're driving a car or a country, please put Twitter down while you're doing it.
Yes, that's good. Although I got to say, it's pretty entertaining reading some of his tweets.
Yeah, I got to say.
The fake ones.
See, Donald Trump, the thing about him is, I mean, he's horrible, but he's hilarious. You know,
he is.
Just the things that he does, and watching the liberals' heads explode is
also hilarious,
entertaining.
Let's go to back to Gene, the Christian anarchist. He's still there on our Discord server. Go ahead.
Yeah, at the top of the hour, I think it was Rich Paul, as you guys were fading out, said something about, well, you need a lot of information to make these deep fakes, but that's wrong-headed thinking. Because that's thinking 20 years ago. Today, with a single picture, and I put a link on the Discord, today with a single picture, you can extract a 3D image of a person's face. And that's just what's known to the average computer programmer like you and me. There are things out there that we don't know, that we don't have information to. And I guarantee you.
Well, that's true. But if you're going to do a video of me speaking that is going to convince somebody who actually knows me, then you're going to have more than one 3D image of me. You're going to have to know how I move. You're going to have to know, if you're faking audio, you have to know what my voice inflection is.
Mannerisms.
Like.
You need mannerisms.
How about an impartial jury of 12?
But somebody who wanted to make a deep fake about you would get all that stuff. So I guarantee you that with today's technology, the government could produce any video they wanted to, and it would be indistinguishable from a real one. And they can. So currently, with today's technology, we need to doubt absolutely everything we see and hear. Because
I mean, there is no such thing as video evidence at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for example,
who's going to use that evil, it's going to be the government.
Yeah.
They will be the ones that will use that evil to their advantage.
Well, if plausible deniability is a thing.
Imagine if the fake videos that were released of bin Laden after he died, if he kept getting older instead of getting progressively younger.
Yes, they were doing it with bin Laden way back then. So just think what they can do today.
Well, if plausible deniability is a thing, let's go the other direction then. And what if you have home security video to protect your home, and someone breaks in, and because of the deep fake technology, right, all of a sudden they're claiming that it wasn't them.
You faked it.
You faked it.
You're trying to frame me.
Absolutely true. So we can't believe anything we see in the future. That's
gone. How it is. That's the new reality. Is you don't know what's real.
That's right.
It's going to be sad.
I think that may be one of the reasons that the world is going crazy.
You said you find it liberating, Gene?
Yes, I find it liberating in a way, because now you can plausibly deny anything that they put in front of you. Now, that also, if you can transfer that plausible deniability to the jury, then the jury can really throw out any video evidence. And in fact, eventually they're probably just going to get rid of juries anyway, because juries are going to start doubting them, and they'll just get rid of them. So that'll be the end of the jury.
Just have a military
they've
tribunal.
Already done that in 97% of cases by introducing the plea bargain.
Yes, and some states have reduced the jury from 12 to 6, and some states have reduced it from unanimous to 10 out of 12.
Oh, geez.
So they have been crippling the jury for years. In fact, I wrote about this 35 years ago in a newspaper article about how the jury system was being crippled clear back then.
Gene, good call tonight. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on, at least we presume it was you. It could be a fake version of Gene. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Determining the fake from the real, not just when it comes to news, which is what has made a lot of headlines over the last couple of years, the so-called fake news, and trying to detect that. But also now detecting fake videos is going to get harder and harder to do with the technology out there known as deep fakes. We're going to continue. I was going to say, here it's Ian with you.
Rich Paul.
And Richie Rich.
Go ahead, Rich. What were you going to say?
Oh, yes. We're actually experimenting like this. What I'm rolling right now is actually much browner than it appears on the studio cam for
Yes.
those of you watching. It's but we've made it appear to be green just to very
Amazing
easy transform to do.
Amazing technology, yes.
You can't trust what you see on the studio cam.
Nope.
No.
And you really can't believe anything anymore unless you're actually there in reality to see it happen, because everything is questionable at this point. All video footage can be faked, and it's getting easier than ever to do that. There's a little bit more analysis here from some of the folks over at the Daily Dot article, dailydot.com, reporting on the deep fakes, where they spoke with someone from Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies, Thomas Rid, professor over there. He is an expert on the history of disinformation. He argues that deepfakes could lead some to deny legitimate information based entirely on the fact that the technology to fake information exists. So
That's the plausible deniability.
right. So you're showing somebody a real video, but they're like, that's fake. Well, I know they could have faked that, but you're like, no, I recorded it myself. I know that it's real. Well, you can't prove that that's the original footage.
We go back to a society of storytelling because it's the only way to convey firsthand information.
The most concerning aspect is possibly deep denials, the ability to dispute previously uncontested evidence, even when the denial flies in the face of forensic artifacts, said Rid. Although fears concerning deepfakes and subversion from malicious foreign actors draw attention in the nation's capital, fake videos could potentially cause much more damage to individuals. Granted, a fake video of a politician engaged in some sort of devious behavior could spread rapidly online before being debunked, but a similar altered video is used to blackmail, or if a similar altered video is used to blackmail a vulnerable person, it's likely no credible fact checkers will be there to put out the fire. The practice of targeting ordinary women with fabricated videos has already begun. In one such example, a woman in her 40s told the Washington Post that just last year someone had used photos from her social media accounts to create and spread a fake sex video of her online. She said, quote, "I feel violated. This is an icky kind of violation. It's this weird feeling like you want to tear everything off the internet, but you know you can't." So, look, I think this is one of the things I've said before about all the, I guess, frustration that people have when it comes to nudity online, and the idea that if you take a selfie, a nude selfie or something like that, send it to a boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they maliciously leak that out, and after the breakup or whatever, they call it revenge porn, I think.
Yep.
I have said before that, look, there's so much porn on the internet that, like, the fact that you're naked on the internet really doesn't make a big impact on anything. It's not uncommon for people to be naked on the internet. So I've just kind of felt like, what's the big deal? If it's that big of a deal, then, don't take nude photos of yourself. But at this point, all you have to have is just any photos of yourself online for somebody to make a nude version of you on the internet.
And that would certainly matter to a modern day Iago, who, if you haven't read Othello, Iago tricks Othello into believing his wife is cheating on him, and Othello kills his wife. Well, there's all kinds of opportunities for that sort of thing. And as you say, if you claim to be a friend and show up with you're having sex with somebody else's wife, he's probably not got a fact checker handy to say, hey, I can process this video and determine that it's actually fake.
Just acting on impulse at that point.
Exactly.
So the point here is, if you're worried about somebody making a nude video of you, well, then it's too late. If your pictures are already out online and somebody has the time and the interest to do it, then there's going to be a nude video of you.
I can see this being the next level of Bitcoin email scams.
You mean like extortion?
Right. Because right now it's floating around, and I know some people that have got them, where it basically says, the hacker or, the scammer says that they got your passwords, they've hacked into your computer, they've said they've taken video of you, handling your business while watching pornography, and unless you send them Bitcoin, they're going to release it. They're going to release it to your friends and family because they have your contact list. Mm-hmm. Well, now if they can do a deep fake with basically a profile picture of you on social media, then there's even greater evidence that they could use to extort you, because then they have video.
True.
If you
Although,
care.
if all they're working with is a facial video, then not to put too fine a point on it, they don't know how I'm hung. They don't know if it, tends to lean left or lean right.
So you could prove that it was fake by showing the real thing, right? Oh,
well, I could, but you can only do that once, because if you do it publicly, then they've got a picture of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the people who are all worried about this, I don't think there's really any reason to be concerned. Oh, no. There's a naked video of you on the internet. Welcome to the internet, where there's a zillion naked videos of people. Like, it's going to get to the point where people should just be laughing at it. Like, oh, somebody used my face and put me in a nude, porn video. Like, it's not going to be the end of your world, because eventually everybody's going to know it could be fake. And eventually they're going to get tired of seeing all their friends' faces on, porn videos. Like, it's just going to get so commonplace that it won't matter.
So maybe we should all just go out and do deep fakes of ourselves and put them out there, so it's like, okay, you've seen a fake naked me on the internet, and I'm actually, not quite that well hung, and it's okay because that's actually not me. But you want to show me a fake video of me? I'll show you a fake video of me.
Because anybody can do this at this point, and it's only going to get easier. So, I mean, I understand why the woman's upset. She calls it a violation. But the reality is, it's just a creative work of art. I mean, you might not agree with it. You might not like it, but that's what art is. It has people, they have different feelings about it, right? Like, you can feel strongly about a piece of art. You can hate it, but another person might actually love that very same piece. And
because all value is subjective.
Right. So I'm just saying, look, lady, your life is going to be all right. Whether there's a fake video of you on the internet, or you actually put a real video of you on the internet, or you gave it to your boyfriend, then broke up with him and he put it on the internet, odds are it's not going to stop you from getting that next job that you want to get. And if it does, maybe you didn't want to work for that person in the first place. And what are the odds that your next job interview is going to be looking through, porn sites to try to see if you... I mean, how does that even happen? What do people think is going to happen because there's a video of them naked, whether it's real or not, on the internet?
Well, one assumes that they would target it, send it to friends and family, maybe send it to current coworkers rather than people you're about to interview with. So that could... I mean,
it's something to talk about around the water cooler.
Nobody wants to be lied about, except, some people do want to be lied about.
And business owners can be pretty finicky about hiring practices.
About who they have working for them.
Because you become, even in your off time, right, you become an agent of the organization.
But this now gives you the plausible deniability to deny a real porn videos of yourself, right? So if you've actually got a real video out of you that your ex has, they're mean and nasty, and they've released it on some revenge porn site. So there's an actual real porn video of you out there. Well, now all you have to do is just claim, oh, well, that's a fake.
Obviously a fake.
Right? Yeah, I would never do anything like that.
I'm an upstanding citizen.
Yeah, toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE.
Lying down.
And for those unwilling to take the time to learn how to develop your own deepfakes, you can simply pay to have it done. A now banned community on Reddit, known as r/deepfake service, was found to be selling this content in early 2018 to anyone willing to give them at least 2 minutes of source video.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.